Hello everyone, this is Chris, and one thing I always bring up in almost every single seed video is that spawn is one of the most important parts of any type of world. And important doesn't always necessarily mean good, as today's seed, which is these numbers right here, has probably one of the worst spawns I've found so far in the 1.18 generation. Because if we actually load into the world, we could see, yeah, we are right here, right at the bottom of the ocean. I did not move this. I did not move the spawn or anything like that. This is legitimately where you spawn inside of this world. Right in the middle of the ocean, right by some icebergs and things like that, but still, right in the middle of a kelp forest right here, with no serious major land in sight. And when I say that, I kind of mean close land in sight. I mean, we could see things in the distance, but nothing too incredibly close. I mean, the only real thing you can, I guess, kind of count as close to spawn is kind of this little spot, but still, this is just a raised up part of the ocean. This is still like in the middle of the water right here. But anyone who has a keen eye might notice that there are two surface ruins just over there, so they might have a few things noteworthy and useful for starting off in such an obscure spawn right here. And it really depends on what Bedrock platform you're playing on, but it kind of does, as first off, there is a little bit of sugarcane you can pick up right here, which, you know, for starting off inside the game isn't too necessarily useful, as you'd rather want to get maybe a little bit of wood or something like that, but this chest right here might be a little bit more useful, as it does have quite a bit of wheat and emerald, some gold right here, some coal, and a leather tunic. In certain platforms, I've noticed you get like a buried treasure ship map or something like that, but yeah, for at least PC right here, we get something like this. But still, the only problem is that we have no crafting table on actually crafting any of this wheat or doing anything with any of this types of stuff, and the closest forest I could find is just over there. You can see just barely in the distance over there, and thankfully this seed isn't all that bad because there are quite a lot of icebergs right here, so if you just get yourself right to them, then you at least have some place on walking or running across them. And I haven't looked too hard inside this iceberg, but there could be a shipwreck in here. Again, I've not looked too hard, I've not noticed it like at first glance or anything, but there could be. But yeah, from looking around, at least right now, there doesn't seem to be one. So yeah, the only real closest wood is this forest, which is so incredibly far away from spawn. And lucky me doesn't even get the pleasure of running to this wood anymore. But yeah, after traveling a few hundred blocks, you're now finally able to get your first bit of wood at this one forest. Which is honestly kind of crazy. Like, wood is such an easy commodity in almost every single other seed, but yeah, you really have to work for your wood in this one seed. And having to do all that just to get some wood from one of the worst spawns I found in 1.18 generation so far makes for a really interesting style of challenge you don't normally expect inside of seeds. But yeah, this seed is kind of bad at the start, but it is actually fairly good after the start, because even though there aren't really any shipwrecks inside this one iceberg, there is one other type of structure you might be interested in obtaining, and that is from this one ruined portal sitting literally in the middle of this one iceberg biome right here, which is kind of cool. And I mean that in the absolute literal sense. But yeah, while we're here, let's check out, see what the nether's like. I mean, it is as tradition, like in any type of ruined portal I find, I typically like check out, see what the nether's like. So, and the answer is not too bad. I always love these types of spawns where you get a pretty enclosed area, which makes it for, I guess, a pretty safe spawning area right here, and this seed definitely delivers on that. But heading back into the overworld, something else this seed actually delivers is something you might not normally care about, but is actually kind of strange, because if you look at this one pillar right here, we might notice that it's a little bit different from the other ones. Yeah, this one is totally made out of blue ice, and again, you never would expect to see any types of these icebergs to spawn solely with blue ice, but for some reason, I don't know if this is a bug or not, but for some reason, this one happens to only spawn with the one block. So maybe we're trying to get a few other types of blocks over at this mushroom island over here. Yeah, we have a mushroom island not too incredibly far from where we spawned off, so in case you weren't interested in getting yourself wood at the very start and you wanted just like a really weird experience right at the very start of your survival world, then this seed kind of does deliver, and having this one biome not too incredibly far from it, along with a pumpkin which happened to spawn on here. I wasn't expecting to see something like that. I didn't realize that pumpkins were able to spawn in this biome, but I guess if you want pumpkins, and the mushroom biome for some reason has that too. But pumpkins aren't nearly as exciting as this one ocean monument right here, and again, it's in a spot where you could technically swim here at the very start of your world and have one of the strangest experiences, having just mining fatigue straight off the bat with no other types of blocks like that. So, I mean, again, if you want like a really strange experience to the very start of your world, then this thing might supply it. But if you're looking for a slightly more normal experience after the spawn, then just by this one forest we first headed to, right by it is actually this one village right here, which obviously is one of the best places, honestly, to head to because of all the food, because of all the chests you could find in it, because of like all this types of stuff you could find in villages, and we can never fully appreciate them really until we actually, take advantage of them when we start off in a world. Much like how we can't fully appreciate the igloo, which is also just over here, which also, by the way, has one of those little secret underroom passages down here. And because we're in the area anyway, you might want to head over to this one cave entrance right down here, which not only goes down pretty decently deep all the way down here, but it also coincides with a zombie spawner right here. And spawners, for the most part, are kind of slightly rare in 1.18, so having one really not too hard to get to is pretty cool and pretty rare as of this one update. And of course, if you're looking for a slightly bigger cave, then you might want to head over to these coordinates right here, because yeah, we have this really big opening into this really big cave. And yeah, I don't typically find caves at this size. I usually find them a lot smaller, so having one at a pretty decent size, if that right here, is a pretty cool and pretty rare, at least for me. Oh, and I should probably also mention that there is an abandoned mine shaft right here, so more reasons to head to this one mega cave right here. But I guess in some ways, this seed is a testament to how sometimes even bad spawns can have some really good things, not too incredibly far from it. But yeah, for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.